So I'm quite excited now because I feel I am going to start a new project, and I am going to live in a certain different way because I am trying to build something completely new to what I have done before. So let me explain. I'm a furniture dealer, if no one knows who I am. My name is Moses Otunla, and I run a vintage furniture company called Bleu-furniture. And we buy and we sell and we restore mid-century modern pieces. And from that, I tend to get involved in lots of different types of projects, but primarily relating to interiors. So sometimes we are called up by film companies or people that want to do ads, or just people that are doing art installations and they want certain pieces that we have and we hire out, and they have it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and sometimes we work with them to actually source pieces for their projects. So that's completely different to what I do normally on a day-to-day, but we get involved in sometimes in whole projects where people are trying to create certain feel in their interiors, and they want our expertise in finding certain pieces. Look certain ways, and then sometimes we get involved even heavily in upholstering and restoring items to fill a customer's requirements for their interiors. So in the last few years, obviously we have branched out into many different spheres. Of course, if any of you watch television, you would have seen that I regularly appear on a BBC program called The Bidding Room.
You don't know what you do to me. You don't know what you do to me.
Again, something that was a little bit outside my comfort zone, but I pushed forward with that so it could allow me to experience different things to do with what I do. Now, this particularly new project, again, it involves me looking at you and talking for a long period of time, but it's not too bad because I'm talking about a subject which I'm quite passionate about, and that really is mid-century modern design. So we've called this project, this diary, this channel, it's called Mid-Century Modern Design Diary. And the idea behind it is to digitally document pieces which I have bought, which I have loved, but I have had to let go. Don't really have regrets, because what we do, what our philosophy is to restore, reinvent, and cycle items and let them pass through life and go to another home, another interior. And that's the job we do. We buy items, we imagine them in the interiors. Sometimes they're in their raw state and it takes a little bit of work to get them to fit into modern interiors. So the object now of this little talk and introduction is to introduce you to our new project, which is the Mid-Century Modern Design Diary. and I'm going to talk you through 5 pieces which I have loved and I've let go, and I have reintroduced them into different interiors. In some cases I've restored them, in other cases I've just polished them but found them in some unusual places. So we're going to go in reverse order. So remembering there's 5 items for this episode, this premiere episode of Mid-Century Modern Design Diary, and I'm going to do it in reverse order, and I'm going to add a little bit of a twist to what we do as well. I'm going to tell you about the item, talk you through the period, give you a brief description of what I bought, and then I'm going to tell you the price of what I sold it for, which is interesting because the prices are a contentious subject because we as dealers are aware of the price increase of vintage furniture, and the reasons behind the increase is sometimes this scarcity, and in some cases the hype surrounding different platform businesses that take a percentage of sellers, and obviously sellers have to put that percentage on top. So in some cases it can be an artificially inflated price, or some cases it could just be the fact that you can't find the pieces anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how my prices compare with prices that are online in many places on the web. So in reverse order, we have number 5. It's a designed side table, and it's Scandinavian and it's Swedish, designed around about 1954, my memory serves me right. It's by Albert Larsson, and it's a tripod looking side table with the use of metal and wood. In fact, the wood is teak, and the metal legs come down towards the end to form a tripod. And so it's wooden tipped on the edge of the metal legs. It's a beautiful table, and what's good about the table is it's a very good seller when you can buy it. Obviously the prices have increased, so I'm gonna say this is my number 5 Albert Larsson side table, and see if you can guess how much I sold it for. And I'm going to show you some pictures of the table just in case you're not familiar.
I couldn't live without you then. I can't live without you now. Finally, this time has come for me to show you how. You don't know what you do to me. You punish me subconsciously. You don't know what you do to me.
So the Albert Larsson table sold for the grand total in our shop for £580, which is a mid-range price. We can get some really ambitious prices out there, but that's what we sold ours for. So you can do your comparison. And of course, we go straight in at number 4. Number 4 on my list is a pair of lights which are designed by an Italian designer called Elio Mattastrelli, and it's called a serpent lamp. There's also a standing lamp, very similar, it's just in a larger scale on this model, and the lamp literally spins, the top spins round in the opposite direction to the base. So it's a nice little feature. When you've got a pair, they look like they make a real statement piece, because obviously you can have them on side tables and they spin round, and it's a combination of metal frame with a plastic shade. Real 60s iconic piece you sometimes see in some of those stylized films and ads. So this is my 4th choice for the premiere episode of Midcentury Modern Design Diary, and it's Elio Mattestrelli, Italian, 1960s, and see if you can guess how much I sold it for. Through the shop and sold it for £1,200 for the 2 lamps, and they were again probably mid-range price. In fact, they weren't immaculate. There was a little bit, what they tend to do on the shades is if you put too much of a high wattage bulb in it, you can burn or singe the top. So there was a little bit of singeing on the shade, but apart from that, they were stonkers. They were beautiful lamps. So we're getting midway now, and I would say straight in at number 3. My choice would be another design classic icon, which when I put out the pictures up there, you will recognize the chair straight away. It's interesting because it's not really kind of a piece that I run towards, even though it's well documented, it's beautiful, it's well designed, it's a little bit expensive. It's just something that I acquired. It was just at the right place, right time, right price, and always loved the chair, but never kind of focused on it. I must have one. But the chair I'm talking about is the Time Life chair, sometimes known as the Time Life lobby chair. This was an office version. This was a little bit later than I would normally buy. This one was by Vitra, not Herman Miller, but it was in such good condition that it was what they call a non-brainer. Good price, good condition, and I bought it and I sold it much faster than I thought, because it's not the cheapest office chair you can buy on the market. So see if you can guess what I sold this beautiful chair for. Of course, I didn't tell you that it was the 1960s original design by the iconic grand masters of mid-century design, Charles and Ray Eames. That's a husband and wife design team, if nobody knows who that is. They're super famous. Made most of their, well, all of their designs were put into production by Herman Miller. But as I said, this one was made with the European licensed manufacturer Vitra. Have a little guess. So that's Herman Miller, Time Life office chair. I sold it for £3,850, which is again, come on Bleu-furniture. We are so reasonable and we are so accessible with our prices. That's a good mid-range price. And as you know, if you went online now and had a look at the quality of the one I sold and the condition, you would know that was a really good price. So I feel there should be some kind of drum roll, some kind of noise to say that we're coming to the last 2. And these ones made it to their last 2. Obviously, I was juggling, trying to find out which one to put at number 1. And really, it was just a personal thing. So straight in at number 2 are these rare pair of lamps, and they're by a company called Nigel. They're German, they're 1970s, and they're super rare. You are only coming into contact with them like now and again. I think I've only had another two about 6 years ago, so these are super rare, just spectacular lamps. If you're familiar with Nigel, they're stackable candlesticks. That's what they're famous for. But these are actually lamps that you can configure in the same way, change the shape and change the configuration of the structure on the lamp. These came in as a pair. I couldn't believe when they turned up, and I sold them for a reasonable price considering the rare value. See if you can guess. Number 2, mid-century modern dowry. So what we got? We've got a pair of Nigella lamps, and I sold them for £4,000, which, well, find me another pair because, boy, they're hard to find. But I really held them for a while, enjoyed them, and really appreciate them as a design piece. So there's got to be some noise now. We've got to have noise, cheer, because we've got straight in at number 1. We're coming to the end of our little diary piece, and I would say these set of chairs are, for me, spectacular. Always bring a smile to my face, always kind of pique my interest because I love sci-fi. These chairs are by Cronecraft, and they're American, and they're 1970s. They have a distinctive V-shaped base that makes the whole chair be able to swivel. These are in black vinyl. These are spectacular. I had 4. What makes them even more famous than they look is the fact that they featured on a episode of Star Trek in the 60s, around about 1964, and it was, let me see if I can remember, the title of the episode that they came out was "The Spock's Brain is Missing." Spock's brain is missing. What a title! And it was Spock's brain was missing, really, and that's what it was all about. They're trying to find Spock's brain, and these chairs were in the background trying to help everybody find Spock's brain. Anyway, these are not the easiest chairs to find, and when you do find them, they're not the cheapest chairs to find. But I managed to find a set of 4. The only thing that we did to them was we brought them back to the black vinyl because they were actually fabric ones, and the fabric was just wrong. It was kind of like grey velvet, and it just didn't do the chairs any justice at all. So I toyed with it, keeping it original, and then I said, no. I looked at the black vinyl ones against the grey suede ones, and we decided to, of course, we upholstered them in black, and I didn't regret it because they sold immediately because they just looked so good. So what did I sell these 4 Cronecraft vinyl Star Trek chairs for? I sold these bad boy chairs for £3,000 for the 4. And you know, if you go online these prices can be absolutely anything. Some people have them reasonable, and some people just, especially in America, in fact, they can be really, really high prices. So anyway, £3,000 below, sold them out of the shop, gone. And I would love another set 4 if you got any, because I just love these chairs. So that's number 1 on my list of mid-century modern design diary. And I hope to see you again with another list. And I hope you really enjoyed my first outing, my first premiere, my first out of my comfort zone yet again. But it's a project that we're passionate about, and we're trying to collaborate with different dealers to bring you different lists again and again. See you soon. It's been P.S. Just a little note. Star Trek episode with Spock's brain is missing was actually produced in 1968, not 1964, as I think I might have suggested. Just a little bit carried away with getting all those chairs, all those Chromecraft chairs to number 1.